Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Great Malabite Efeni. Good morning.
Good morning, Ruben.
Good morning.
And your jollof rice theory. Good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Victoria Tundo MKO Abiola.
Good morning, Mr. Fetty.
Yes. You did not add Begiri and Amala. That's what is missing. That will be more attractive. Yes, or starch and banga soup.
Owo and starch, not banga.
Tuwo shinkafa.
Tuwo
I know banga all day, every day.
Not jollof rice they eat every
Yeah.
Saturday at parties. Now let's start the review with this day. Nigeria's newspaper of records. The lead story. Buhari set to announce PIA implementation committee today. Yes, federal government. No immediate removal of petrol subsidy. Explains why governors are clamoring for price hike. Private sector operators APC commend president on new oil sector law. Wike 3% allocation to host committees insufficient. Yes, this day is exclusively reporting that the president will today set up the implementation committee for the Petroleum Industry Act. And according to the report, one of those being considered to chair the committee is none other than the Minister of Petroleum Resources, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources himself, Timipre Silva, or somebody with good knowledge of development economics. So we'll see who that cap fits at the end of the day. Now, this committee will be saddled with the responsibility of establishing the Nigerian Upstream Regulatory Commission, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Regulatory Commission, as well as they will take charge of the corporatization of the NNPC into the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. A lot of work to do in the next 12 months to actualize or implement this new law. And of course, the impact as we get along, we'll see with the full deregulation that will follow somewhere along the line. Now, other newspapers also reporting on the PIA now. The Punch newspaper, signing of PIB. Buhari bowed to majority wish, says Aso Rock, South blames lawmakers. Now, according to Garba Shehu, SSA on media and publicity to the president. The president bowed to majority wish, and that is it. But of course, the South leaders are blaming the lawmakers from the South, who they believe did not do enough. President not insensitive but responsive to yearnings of majority of Nigerians, as Garba Shehu puts it. South National Assembly members ignored their people, voted for party, says governor's aide. Now, the Guardian newspaper also reporting this story. Despite PIA, federal government to retain subsidy, sell petrol at 162 to retain subsidy for now. Not just, they are not retaining it forever. Insist allocations to host communities, frontier development, justifiable. Law, not perfect, but good start. APC admits Wike sending 3% directly to host communities will cause crisis. Experts call for investment on modular refineries to end petrol import. Do not withdraw fuel subsidy. Huriwa wants. Now, the New Telegraph newspaper, other stories of the day. ACF to FG, Arewa Consultative Forum to the federal government. Put repentant Boko Haram members on trial, or release Igboho, ESN members, others. Says blanket pardon for terrorists will trigger more terror. All not well with northern Nigeria. Elders cry out. I think this has been the clamor of many Nigerians that these terrorists who have killed, maimed, rendered children as orphans should not be allowed to go scot-free under the guise of being repentant. Repentant in quotes, a good way to put it, on the front page of the New Telegraph newspaper. Now, the Daily Sun newspaper, Masari, take up arms, defend yourself. Katsina governor tells residents. What will Nigerians not hear? The President Muhammadu Buhari, asked the governors to take charge. They shouldn't leave security issues to the federal government alone. Now, the governor is telling the citizens to take up arms and defend themselves. Yes, if you were to buy arms in Katsina or Zamfara, you better go for AK-47 because that's what the bandits carry. Anything less, they will outgun you. But remember, there's also a subsisting order from the president. Shoot at sight anybody with AK-47 rifle. So what will the citizens do? Nothing. They will hear so much from their leaders. Now, let's look at the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Yes, still the same story about Boko Haram. Bring repentant Boko Haram insurgents to trial. The Daily Trust newspaper, White Tegina, Yauri students remain in captivity over 2 months after government bandits leader in talks for prisoner swap. Informants frustrating negotiations. Parents, Bethel school abductors insist on 80 million naira ransom. Our position will not change, Niger commissioner. While the leadership newspaper Insecurity, Tofa, Yayale Ahmed, Jega Angwai, others move to save the North. Form Abuja round table. ISWAP in disarray as more terrorists surrender. Repentant Boko Haram members must face justice. ACF, PMB, President Muhammadu Buhari, security chiefs meet tomorrow. North Central governors condemn Plateau killings. Now, politics, the Vanguard newspaper, PDP, fresh crisis as governors' NEC members rally around Secondus. Governors' NEC members may back Secondus for second term. Fayose Oyinlola, others may contest. Talks on zoning chairmanship premature, says Deputy Party Scribe. National Working Committee meets today on Convention Planning Committee. Wike, Ikwano, PDP caucus engage in verbal war. PDP needs new National Working Committee to win 2023 polls, says Wike. Now, the other party, Daily Independent newspaper, 2023 presidential election, Tinubu's loyalists kick as APC chiefs want Christian candidates. Religion shouldn't be criterion for choosing president, says Swagger. Now, I think Swagger is the Southwest agenda. Yes, I'll get that shortly. It's the body, a group that has been drumming support for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu around the Southwest. And this report is saying that ahead of the 2023 general election, the presidency, in concert with the caretaker extraordinary convention planning committee of the ruling party, has said to be considering a Christian from the southern part of Nigeria as their presidential flag bearer. Daily Independent source. So if you live on Bodilon Road and your name is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, many rivers to cross to get to the presidency, as more hurdles seem to be put on the way to the ticket of the APC. Now, business stories, News Direct newspaper, $700 million recovered loot. 36 states sue federal government over non-remittance into federation account. While the Business Day newspaper, VAT, expected winners, losers if sharing formula change. Business Day. Now, Business News newspaper, which is on the screen. Now, states sue federal government over alleged diversion of 1.8 trillion 450 billion naira assets. Yes, talking about recovered loot. While the National Economy newspaper, poor logistics capacity poses competitive disadvantage for Nigeria in AFCFTA market. The foreign newspapers quickly now. In the UK, the Guardian newspaper, yes, UK to take 20,000 refugees fleeing the Taliban regime. Yes, the UK is also urging other European countries to do same. But Lord Dobb is saying UK is not doing enough with 20,000 refugees. That if Canada can take 20,000, then UK should be taking in more. Now, the Independent newspaper of UK, Afghan women will be protected, claims Taliban. Militants seek to reassure world, but arrests begin in Kabul. Of course, in a charm offensive by the Taliban, the Islamists are seeking to reassure opponents and the international community that the Emirate will have a responsible government. The spokesperson, Zabihullah Mujahid, yes, he talked of commitment to the treatment of women, proper treatment of women under Sharia system, whatever that means. Now, the New York Times, violent history clouds Taliban vows. Yes, the New York Times, because of the violent past of the Taliban. Not many are taking their vows very seriously. Now, Ruben, Rufai, and Tunde, over to you.
Well, the governor of Katsina State, Aminu Masari, is saying that citizens of his state, Katsina State, should take up arms and defend themselves. I hope the governor is aware of the fact that, in a sense, he may be, encouraging people to break the law, because you don't just take up arms. There is a law called the Firearms Act. You have to go through due process. And the law in Nigeria does not encourage a resort to self-help, whatever may be the provocation. But if he talks about, the government, the federal government, the security agencies doing their bit, then that is important. Now, another issue that I thought I found interesting in the papers today, and, I mean this on the lighter side, former President Olusegun Obasanjo saying, look, we have to manage population. Nigeria is facing a population crisis, and you have to do something about it. Well, if you read one of the books by President Obasanjo, he has contributed quite something substantial to Nigerian population. He even listed, what he contributed in one of his books. And some of us who look up to him, okay, can we suspend this conversation for some time, so that some of us who want to be like Baba and our fathers from that part of the country, let us also make our own contribution to the Nigerian population,
Ruben,
so that there will be fairness. We're talking about fairness, we're talking about social justice, Ruben, so that then we can all sit at the table and begin to talk about how to manage Nigeria's population.
Please restrain him. Restrain him.
No, Ruben.
Please restrain him.
Just
please.
Nigeria's population, okay, at 200 million. Okay, why don't we wait till we too contribute, and then we can sit with our leaders and our fathers, and then we talk about Nigerian population.
Ruben, I know your tendencies and aspirations on this matter.
What I say?
But what Baba is saying, Baba Obasanjo is saying, is that, look, many people, they just have children, they cannot train these children. But give it to Baba, he has also done well in catering for his own offsprings, no matter how many they are. I'm not going to count them. But the advisory from him, at the launching of that book, turning our population into assets, then I think he has a point that we should find a way to also control this matter at a certain level.
Our fathers should also lead by example. President Obasanjo was speaking at the Africa Progress Group. But, let's go from comedy to something else. The statement yesterday that we all expected from the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timi Priscilla. I think that, many Nigerians will feel relieved that he gave the assurance that, one, petroleum prices will not go up, that the government will do whatever it takes for now.
For now.
To keep prices at 162 to 165 naira. Even if the new law, the PIA says that, look, the market should be fully deregulated. And this is a challenge for governance. We're postponing, it will appear to me, the evil day. In 2012, when the Jonathan administration decided to deregulate the downstream sector, it caused big problems. There are analysts who say, in fact, that was the main turning point for the administration. The other day, former Emir of Kano, Lamido Sanusi, made the point again that, look, if we had deregulated the downstream sector 10 years back, Nigeria would not be at this point, and it would be less painful. But the government of the day will seem to have taken, on that particular point, a political decision. It may be wise, because it's a very, delicate point. It's like putting light to a keg of gum powder. And he also made a point about the 3%, the host communities fund that those communities are concerned about. He says it will discourage stakeholders, the IOCs, in terms of investments. And Nigeria will again, at the end of the day, suffer for it. So I think those clarifications are very important. But as I said earlier, before you joined us, the government needs to do a lot more in terms of explaining that Petroleum Industry Act to the Nigerian people. And the true test, will be in terms of how it is implemented. Because we're watching and we're waiting. And we would like to see what happens within the next 12 months that has been given to the implementation committee that you talked about.
Well, my comment is about Bello Masari's comment, and everybody from the governor of Katsina to General or retired General T.Y. Danjuma has said Nigerians should take arms. And whenever they do, I remember, one of the most famous speeches in, literature, Hamlet's to be or not to be speech. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it's nobler in the mind, to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortunes, or take arms against them, and by opposing end them. What Shakespeare meant when he said to take arms against a sea of troubles is to commit suicide, which I think is what they're asking Nigerians to do. Take up arms. For what? In what way? How? How many people are trained? If you do manage to get a Dane gun, how is that going to stand against an AK-47? It's like bringing a table knife to a gunfight. I really wish people would stop proposing these disingenuous measures and actually address the root cause of the problem. Putting the onus on Nigerians to defend themselves is actually an insult. It's actually some kind of mass kamikaze mission that they're asking us to engage on. And I hope this is the last time we hear Nigerians defend yourselves.
A case of government abdicating
its shirking the responsibility. Yes.
Okay, for me, what I can't stand is this sort of like nefarious vacillations on the part of our leaders. This was the same Aminu Bello Masari that had photo-ops with bandits. So what changed? Why didn't he solve the problem then? Why didn't he call on the authorities then to get the bandits out, to fight them out? But at first, they pampered them, didn't they? They had peace deals with the bandits. I mean, who has peace deals with a criminal? He's a criminal. A criminal will never change. It's just deceit to have a peace deal with a criminal. But why did we go that route in the first place? Try to romance criminals. And now this has come home to roost, and now you're saying Nigeria should take up arms. How about get the arms on the criminals at first? They keep coming out with photo-ops to say, oh, they've collected XYZ, Kalashnikovs from bandits and the likes. Don't those weapons finish in the hands of bandits? Don't they finish?
Well, Emmanuel Efeni, thank you very much, but let's use this opportunity to congratulate General Ibrahim Babangida, who turned 80 yesterday, and the place was, besieged, stormed, a huge crowd of admirers who went there to celebrate with him. But the papers this morning I say there was an inscription somewhere, a label, saying press not allowed. You know, and I found that quite humorous, because every big man in Nigeria is a creation of the Nigerian press. You know, and we also deserve to be part of birthdays or celebrations. And General Babangida has made his own contributions to the growth and development of Nigeria. It was also on Arise News. I did a review of that. Some people have been doing stomach democracy around that, trying to abuse me. You know, but
we must not also forget that it derailed democracy at one point.
We must not forget the lessons of history. But congratulations, General Babangida. May you live long, sir. Thank you, Emmanuel Efeni.
Thank you.